Hey guys, after a long break, Season 3 continues with one of my faves. She's provided guitar, drums, and vocals in many bands over the years. Das Yahoos, Pink Slip Daddy, The Friggs, Bubble Gun, Palmyra Delran and the Doppel Gang, and she currently hosts the wonderful Trash Pop Treasures on Little Steven's Underground Garage. It was an absolute pleasure to talk with the one and only Palmyra Delran. You're listening to Frets with DJ Fey. No lessons, no technique info. I just talk to people who play guitar. Stay tuned. Listeners, I am very excited about my guest today. You might know her from some of the bands she's been in or collaborated with, Pink Slip Daddy, The Friggs, Bubble Gun, and more, as well as her solo songs and albums. You also know her from her very fun and fantastic radio show, Trash Pop Treasures on Little Steven's Underground Garage. With me today is the one and only Palmyra Delran. Thank you so much for doing this.
Oh, hey, Dave. I'm looking forward to it. I'm a fan of your podcast.
Oh, I love to hear that. Well, I do want to talk about how your radio show came to be, and I promise we will get to that. But I wanted to say up front that I really wanted to talk about me first. No, for
That's
years,
cool.
For years, I've been into garage rock, girl groups, British pub rock, a lot of stuff that I hear on your show. But you dig out some of the greatest little gems I've never heard of. You have really greatly expanded my knowledge of pop and rock and everything great. So I want to thank you for that.
Oh, very cool. I love hearing that because, I always think, well, is this too nerdy to spin? And,
No.
Yeah, okay, good. Because, Stevie's like, what? Where did you find that? So he's even geekier than I am. So, but I guess we can get to that whenever you want to.
Yeah. No, I love that because I'm just constantly like, oh, wow, what was that? Or, you'll talk about the background of that or where this band or artist came from. And I'm like eating it up. So I'm making notes and everything. So,
that's so cool.
Yeah. Well, you've listened to the podcast, you've said, which I really appreciate that. So, I do like to go way back and talk about a person's early days. And you were born in Princeton, New Jersey, which I think it's right kind of between New York City and Philadelphia.
Yeah.
Kind of midway. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, at what age did you first get into music and what kind of music was that?
Well, pretty early, actually. I mean, I was really into like AM radio because we didn't really stick around in Princeton for too long. We ended up we lived in Houston, Texas for a minute. We lived in Spain for a bit, and then Jersey. So we kind of settled in Collingswood, New Jersey, which is like right across the bridge from Philly. So, grew up with all that fantastic R&B stuff. I used to go to record shops, and if it was they had one little section called soul, and I could get like, OJs and stuff like that. But anything to me, when I was a little kid, if I went to the soul section, I would find some crazy things for 55 cents or $1, whatever it was, I would just spend my allowance on that. So, that was a really rich childhood and of, AM radio hits and soul music. So, I'm still a fan of that stuff. It just never leaves your DNA, I guess.
No. Well, how did you discover garage rock or garage pop?
I guess from the Stones, because I was like a young kid. We had a family of older boys that lived down the street from me, and we were friends with the youngest sister. And then, but all the boys, there was like, guys that are a couple of years older than us. Me and the sister would just go into their rooms, which was, I guess, like a little, I don't know. We were just playing records, but we'd have to leave the door opened and stuff like that. So, yeah, and they turned me on to the Stones at like age 8. I remember I was really into the Monkees, and
Yeah.
and then I got corrupted by the Stones, and it was a welcome, I guess, corruption for me,
I was very into the Stones and the Monkees. I love it.
Yeah, I never shook the Monkees, and I
No,
never
no,
will.
no.
I don't think I ever will. So,
Great stuff. Well, what prompted the move to Philadelphia?
Well, I never actually lived in Philly. We were living. It wasn't Jersey, but it was like literally across the bridge.
Got it.
Yeah, I used to hop the little train there and go get corrupted on South Street when I was a kid. They had like art houses and stuff, and I think I was a little, independent from my friends. Like no one ever wanted to go to record conventions and stuff like that. So I would like hop the little local train to Philly and go to the record conventions. And that's where I first met Lenny Kaye.
Oh, wow.
Well, yeah, I was like, oh my God. I was like a little kid and I was like, oh my God, that's Lenny Kaye, So I walked over and I was like, hi, I'm a big fan of the Nuggets collection. And we sat and bullshitted for like 20 minutes. And then I went back the next year and I saw him again and he remembered me. And that was like a mind blower.
Wow.
You know what I mean?
That's great.
And now we work together. It's crazy. But I mean, he remembered. It was like the first famous person I ever met. You know what I mean? It was like very thrilling. And he was the nicest guy.
That's a great one to meet.
Yeah.
Oh, in the 80s, you and Mike Ferguson were playing in a band, Das Yahoos.
Yeah.
And then in the late 80s, that ended, but then you guys formed Pink Slip Daddy.
Yes.
How did that come to be? How did that all come together?
Well, after Das Yahoos, Mick Cancer, which is Mike Ferguson, Ben Vaughn and I were like, we should make a solo record. We'll just back Mick Cancer and we'll play everything and he'll just sing. He'll come in and, So we moved all the equipment into Ben's parents' basement and Ben and I just recorded everything. I played drums and bass. Ben played guitar. And then Mick Cancer came over and sang. And then we were like out of there in like a weekend. The parents were like going on vacation for a weekend. So we were like, let's go, And we did that. And then we just liked what came out of it so much that we were like, let's get a bass player and just do gigs, So we did that and ended up being, more successful than the projects that we were doing on our own. For Ben really hadn't. No, was he touring? No, I wasn't. I forget. But it ended up being a really cool record. And then for the next couple of years, we got Barbed Wire and we're Pink Slip Daddy. It was maybe the most fun band I think I ever had. It was so much fun. So much fun. And I get to play drums,
Yeah. Ben Vaughn, he's one of a kind.
Definitely.
Wasn't he credited on some album as Sal Minio's only son or something?
Yeah, that was his alter ego in Pink Slip Daddy. Okay. Yeah. We like to call it alter ego because, I mean, I think that's really funny, but people were like, what? I don't get it. Wasn't he gay? And we're like, well, yeah, that's the joke right there,
Funny.
But yeah, it's pretty cool. Because he sort of has that Sal Mineo look, you know what I mean?
Yeah, I can see that. That.
Come see me, baby, all the time. People see you walking down the street, they'd say, you was mine. We used to love each other, baby, and all that talk. But I can still remember your skin so soft. It's gonna rain.
Stay tuned. We'll be right back. Looking to buy a guitar, an amp, pedals? Find great deals on all of these as well as audio and recording gear at reverb.com. You can also sell your gear through Reverb. They have great articles about music gear and bands. And Reverb believes music makes the world a better place. That's why they created Reverb Gives, that provides youth music education programs all over the world with the instruments they need to make music. Link to Reverb through Frets with DJ Fey in the show notes for this episode. Well, then in the 90s, along came the Friggs.
Yeah.
And you guys shared the stage with the likes of Dick Dale and the Ramones, Cheap Trick. Also, Southern Culture on the Skids, I think.
Yes, many times.
Yeah, Mary Huff and Rick Miller were on the show last year.
I know. I've got that on my list to listen to.
Good. It's a fun one. It's really fun.
Definitely, yeah. I'm a big, big fan of theirs.
Yeah, I try to see them whenever they come to town, and they had some great stories, so that's a good one.
Oh, I've seen the, yes. I've been part of those. You know, we played Sleaze Fest, I think, every year.
Yeah.
A lot of times.
Well, Steve Van Zandt was a fan, so much so that he started playing your songs on Underground Garage.
Yes, which was a big thrill for me. I was like, what? Everyone was telling me that. And, I was like, wow, that's crazy.
Yeah.
Somebody just woke up.
Oh, the dog?
Yeah, she's whining. Okay.
All right, so you got to tell me if I'm getting this sort of right. So then Steven goes to a Friggs, like a reunion show. You guys met and talked, and the next thing you know, he's playing a song off your solo EP, Baby Should Have Known Better, as coolest song of the week on his show.
I know. Isn't that crazy? I was like, it was like the coolest thing to ever happen.
And then that goes on to get voted coolest song in the world for the year of 2008. So.
Yeah, well, I had a couple of more, like there was this one song that year that I think should have been coolest song. But anyway, it was this, there was a song called Rehab Girl by the Bleeding Hearts, Rehab Girl. I was like, that's the coolest song in the world. And I won over that, was like, okay, well, that's wrong, but I'll take it.
Yeah, you're not going to argue too much with that.
No, I'm not going to argue, but I did like that song. I mean, that song was, just absolutely gorgeous. Anyway.
Yeah. Well, the Friggs songs appeared in some films even. I know like Superbad and Jawbreaker. I know there was some others. That's got to be cool.
It was so cool. There was Pray for Rock and Roll. There was a documentary. There's a documentary about the word fuck, which was like pretty much, a bad word for a good thing, I guess. So that was featured in that, which was lovely. I loved it, but I don't think anyone saw the documentary.
That's great. Yeah. We need your song for this.
Yeah. I mean, what else fits?
We need your name.
Perfect. Whoever the music supervisor was really did their job that day,
Well, I think I'm getting this right too, but you weren't really even thinking about having your own radio show, but it was Steven who wanted you to. And what was your initial reaction when you were approached about that?
Well, he asked me, I'd known him a little bit, since that Friggs reunion. And whenever we would run into each other, we would just crack each other up. We'd always manage to have a 20-minute, 30-minute laughing fest, so we always really got along. He's so much fun, really cool guy. And he was like, Palmyra, why don't you do a show? Just like a once a week show. And I'm like, well, I never did that before. I don't know, I mean, there's so many other DJs that are, so like amazing and all that. And he was like, no, you can do it. You can do it. And I was like, well, if I say no, are you going to whack me? I figure I'd bring the Sopranos thing in there. And he was like, he started laughing, of course. And he was like, no, you can do it. You can do it. And I was like, what, I'm going to give it a try. It was one show a week. And I loved it. It was so much fun,
Wow.
And really, if you're not having fun in this life, what are you doing?
Exactly.
What are you going to do? Just, I don't know. So it was a really cool, thrilling opportunity that, now it's like, it's a big chunk of my life. I just absolutely love it. And it's great that he gives me the freedom to look through my nerdy record collection. You know what I mean?
That's
like,
so great.
Really cool.
Yeah, I'm digressing here, taking a little detour, but thinking about Steven and the Sopranos. I just finished not too long ago. I'm a huge Kinks fan, and I finished
Me too.
Davy's Living on a Thin Line, which I love.
The Sopranos, yeah.
Yeah, that Sopranos episode where that song comes in like 3 times during the episode. Yeah. Pretty cool.
Yeah. That's the best show ever, really.
Oh, so great. So great. Well, in 2012, you released an album of punk and rock and roll songs for kids.
Yes.
Kinder Angst. That's right. 14 songs dedicated to the stresses and challenges of being a child and using music to express their feelings.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah. Debbie Harry makes an appearance on that.
She does. And, well, that's a pretty funny story. I don't know if you want to hear it.
Oh, yeah.
So Debbie, also, living in New York, you really get to know some cool characters. And Debbie Harry, I got to say, is one of the coolest and most fun broads I've ever known. She's so much fun. And so I run into her one day at like Whole Foods or something. And she's like, "Hey, what are you up to?" And I was like, "I'm doing a children's record." And she goes, "Oh, I have a song for you." I'm like, "You do?" I'm like, "Yeah." She's like, yeah, I'll find it for you. I'm like, "All right, cool." So we're recording the record, and I figure, well, like, let's get her in there to record it and sing it and everything. And I call her up. I'm like, "Hey, did you find that song? Because we're recording and blah, blah." She's, I'll look. It's got to be in my garage. So she's like, I'm picturing her just like opening all these boxes in the garage with this cassette. And it's literally the last day that we're recording. I was like, "Deb, did you find that song?" She's like, "I'll find it today." So then she calls me later. She goes, "I found it. It was in the last box that I opened." I'm like, "Well, that figures." So she goes, "It's called Do It Yourself." And she goes, "It's about jerking off."
On a kid's album.
Like, what didn't you understand about that's a kid's record? You know? She goes, "Well, it's not obvious. It's like more like being like sort of empowering your free thinking and, being an individual." I'm like, "Okay, cool. And so you can't really tell, but in a way, if you know the story, you can totally tell.
Now I know the story, so I know.
Yeah, so now you know that story. It's a fun song. She wrote it with Jean Beauvoir, and it really turned out great. It's a really cool, fun song.
Yeah. I saw Blondie at the Chicago Theater last year. She looked great, and it was a great show. They had Glenn Matlock was part of the band.
Yeah, he's their bass player.
And The Damned opened up. It was really,
I
great
saw
show.
I saw the same tour. It's funny because I've been seeing Blondie since I was a kid. Saw them with Rockpile opening up.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. And so I've seen them like a zillion times. And that last tour, there was something so special about it, and I told her that. I was like, really, it was so special. And she really agreed. She was like, "I think we're really on a high." I'm like, "You totally are,
Yeah, it was pretty wonderful.
Anyone should totally catch Blondie. They really have gotten better. And of course, everybody misses Chris because he hasn't been touring.
Right.
But, they are fantastic. And, Clem is just, my God, he's the god of drums.
Chris is fun to follow on social media, though. He says great stuff.
He's fantastic. Yeah.
Stay tuned. We'll be right back.
Well, the bass player's punking and the drummer's kicking in. And I'm just trying to find a place to fit in. The front man's up front, and that's where he ought to be. But if you listen real close, you know you might hear me. I'm playing rhythm guitar. Hey, 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 hey. I'm playing rhythm guitar, and it feels okay. I go 1 Mississippi, 2 Mississippi.
Ben Vaughn's radio show, The Many Moods of Ben Vaughn, is broadcast from Parts Unknown, USA. I guess we'll never know where that is exactly, but we do know Ben grew up in Philly on the New Jersey side of the river. When he was only 6, his uncle gave him a Duane Eddy album. That record would have a profound impact on Ben, who was playing drums in a garage band by the time he was 12. His interest then turned to the guitar. Ben has been recording, performing, touring, and providing scores for films and TV theme songs for years now. He still finds time to host what, in this fan's opinion, is one of the greatest radio shows on the airwaves. My Talk with Ben Vaughn is available in Season 2 of Frets.
1 Mississippi, 2 Mississippi, 3 Mississippi, 4 Mississippi, let's ride.
Hi, this is Palmyra Delran, and we're listening to Frets with DJ Fey.
Well, since your days in the bands that we've talked about, you've been quite prolific with your own solo material and collaborating with other artists.
Yeah.
And with your, I gotta talk about this. With your busy schedule, you even found time to co-host The Many Moods of Ben Vaughn.
Which was so much fun. I hope we'll do it again. Yeah.
That was great. You guys were great together. And you both play so much of the stuff I love, so it's great.
Well, we do steal from each other. I was like, I stole something from Ben, and I was like, I hope you don't mind that I stole blah, blah, blah. And he was like, that's cool, because I stole blah, blah, blah. So it's really a pretty mutual, fan club that we have for each other.
It all works out.
Yeah. And I got to say, Ben really turned me on to some amazing stuff in our friendship together. You know what I mean? It was just like, we both turned each other. I mean, I don't know if he was as big of a T-Rex fan until I sort of shoved it down his throat. Man. And now he's a huge T-Rex fan. Anyway. So yeah, me and Ben do steal from each other.
Yeah, it was so crazy, but I can't even remember. I guess it was sometime last year that he and I talked for the show, but early in January of this year, I was out in LA for a few days with some friends, and we're waiting for one of the friends to show up who wasn't getting to the airport a little later. So we were killing some time. We're in Santa Monica. It was just a weekday, and we're walking down Main Street, Santa Monica.
Okay.
And there's guys walking toward me with a little fedora, and he's carrying a book. And I get closer, and we just kind of looked at each other, and I said, Ben? And
That's hilarious.
It was just crazy. It was really, really such
hilarious.
A wild little chance meeting. So we talked for, 10 minutes on the sidewalk.
That's hilarious.
It was pretty cool. He's so great. Well, speaking of Ben again, you remember we did tell Ben Vaughn that we'd discuss Gail Garnett. You probably know way more than I do. Most people know. Most people know her classic "We'll Sing in the Sunshine," and I do know she provided like a voice in the very first Pink Panther film, and she's made other TV and film appearances over the years, and she's still with us. But I don't know. I'm intrigued that Ben wanted us to talk about Gail Garnett.
Well, I think because he was listening to one of my shows once, and he just texted me like, I'm assuming that you brought Gail Garnett into the underground garage. Okay. And I'm like, yep, what can I tell you? Stephen loved it. He was, what the fuck was that? I think I say fuck too much.
No, you're fine.
Okay. But she's so underrated, I believe. I think that she's, that voice is like otherworldly.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Oh yeah.
She's also a writer, a great songwriter, not even like a mediocre songwriter. The songs that she's written are just beautiful and completely her own and not like anybody else. You know what I mean? I just think she should have been huge as an artist. I think she did win the Grammy for "We'll Sing in the Sunshine," but her other stuff, if you dig into the catalog, it isn't even poppy like that. You know what I mean? It's just really cool and slinky. And, definitely I spin Gail Garnett like a lot, maybe too much. I don't know. I mean, I don't think it's too much, but.
No, but see, that's what I like. I see. This is the kind of stuff that I probably for years would have known. We'll Sing in the Sunshine, and that's about it. And then, I find out that there's this other backstory and other great stuff, and that's great. I did see that recently. Ben Vaughn was holding up for like one of his social posts or whatever, holding a a Gail Garnett album. So he's got a photo of that on his page. So
yeah, that's one of those bands that we both like. I don't remember if he turned me on to Gail Garnett or if I turned him on to it. It could have been just like a thing that we both knew about and we just never brought it up. And it was finally like, now we're both like, freaks, absolute freaks. I mean, and, but I've been hip to that record for decades, and I've definitely dug for more treasures by her, and she doesn't disappoint. I'll tell you that. Yes. She's amazing.
See, you guys are sending me down a rabbit hole. I'm going to be digging up all that stuff and listening to it.
Yeah, you should.
Hey, I want to talk about Plug. Plug makes it easy for you to purchase the personal technology you need at 40 to 70% off retail pricing. What can you get from Plug? Certified pre-owned devices including iPhones, Androids, AirPods, Macs, smartwatches, accessories, and more. I originally didn't even want an Apple Watch, but I got one from Plug and I love it. I wear it every day. Your purchase is backed by their unmatched 1-year warranty and 30-day money-back guarantee. One more very cool thing, Plug is dedicated to helping reduce e-waste around the globe. To date, Plug has helped save over 1 million devices from reaching landfills, and they're looking to double that number by 2025. Link to Plug Tech from the show notes and enter code DJ Fey to help support this podcast. Plug Electronics. Check it out. Well, you're into, obviously, so many bands and artists, but is there any newer or stuff recently that you've been digging?
There's so many, like, that's the cool thing about my job. I really feel like I have the best job ever because as long as it's good, like, it's in our library. Like, you might have some, guilty pleasures, but I don't even think they're guilty pleasures. I say, if I love the Jackson 5, you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. And everyone else would be like, ooh, that's, like, why? It's genius, that band, and Michael Jackson, come on. And, of course, you don't want to really play the later stuff, but the early stuff is, I'm not even making a judgment on the later stuff. It's just
right. No, I know.
My thing over the early stuff. So, but we play stuff from the late 40s and 50s and all the way to newer bands. I mean, like, Stephen gave me this sort of feature. I work pretty closely with our music director, Dennis Mortensen, and he and I are on the same page for sure with like what we like. And if I pass something on to him, he's like, oh, this is so good. And, so I have this another feature that's on the weekend show called Tomorrow's Treasure Today. And I find some new band. I just kind of can feature like a new band. Latest few is the girl from the Lunatics, Gina Volpe, has a new record. And I like that. And then there's another cool band that I just played this week called Devil Love. It's really cool. And You Filthy Dog is a cool one. There's this little band from like Sheffield or something. They have like, 100 followers on Facebook or something. But if it's good, it's like, bubblegum punk that's current, you know what I mean? And it's all you have to say to me is bubblegum punk and I'm there, And so, I have the freedom to find cool new bands like that. So I love my job. What can I tell you?
Yeah. I heard one recently you played, they had a like Cologne, Germany, a band called Sandwich, a song, Cookie.
That was today.
Cookie. Yeah, that's really right. That was. It was just the recent show. That's right.
Yeah.
love stuff like that. See, I
I
know.
know.
I knew nothing about them.
Me either. It's like, who's this? What's this thing? Sandwich, kooky, and it's like, of course, I have to go down that rabbit hole because and turns out like I don't really. There's nothing even online you can even find out. You know what I mean? So all I found out was that they have 3 singles out, and they're maybe from Cologne, Germany. Maybe not.
Maybe. Okay.
Like who knows? But it was cool. It's really cool, and like, hey man, you don't need the facts. You just need the music.
Yeah, that's all you get. That's all you need.
Well, I'm in the studio now. We're recording 3 singles. I'm going to be released separately, and then a singles collection. I'm releasing, or Wicked Cool Records is releasing the record that I released 10 years ago. You Are What You Absorb.
Oh yeah.
Brian Jones.
I did get that. Yeah.
So that's coming up, I think, in the summer. And then after that, I'll start the new album. But I'm also probably doing a new Coolies single. I don't know if you know about my other band, the Coolies.
I don't. No.
Oh, okay. Do you know Kim Shattuck?
Well, yeah, I know you did. What was?
Yeah, the Coolies. She sang on some of my records. Yeah,
that's what I was thinking.
I've known Kim since the Pandora's days. And we always wanted to have a band together. We sort of always joked about that. And then when she got sick with ALS, we were having these like phone calls. Me and Kim and Melanie would call each other once a week and just have like, because they were in LA and I'm here in New York. And we would just like bullshit for 2 or 3 hours, just girls talk. And Kim one day said, we should really do that band now. I'm like, okay. So she went through her demos. Melanie and I recorded some stuff on top of it. And then we wrote new songs, which we recorded and did an EP with all the proceeds going to ALS research.
Nice.
Yeah. And it was released on Wicked Cool. And Stephen was like, yes, we will do whatever you want to do. And so he's kept that, that was really one of the best projects I've ever been involved in. And before she passed away, she gave us directions on what she wanted us to do with the band. She's like, I want you to cover this song. I want you to do this and this and this and tour. And we're thinking, people want to see you, Kim. They don't want to see, me or Melanie. Well, they probably do want to see Melanie because she's Melanie, But anyway, so that was that project. We are keeping it alive. We did a Go-Go's cover last year or whatever, and Kathy Valentine and Clem Burke were the rhythm section.
Oh, nice.
With me and Melanie, and we did put Kim's vocal on there too.
Very
so
cool.
We have, some of Kim's demos that we're going to complete, make more Coolies records. Yeah, it's a fun project. We're doing 3 singles that are going to be released separately, and then a singles collection. I've got Wicked Cool reissuing my album You Are What You Absorb. That's coming out, I think, in the summer, and then some more Coolies stuff.
Nice.
Planned, yeah. That's going to be fun. And then a full new Palmyra and Doppel Gang album after that. So
you're staying busy.
Yeah, I like to stay busy,
A broken neon sign, volcanic Valentine. I can't believe it's you.
Well, as I mentioned earlier, I love your show. You play such a wide variety of songs and
Aw, thanks, man.
just stuff that's right up my alley. I just I just eat
Thank
it.
you. That's really good to hear,
Yeah.
actually, you know?
Well, I like listening like on, I don't know, Saturday mornings when I'm having my coffee and figuring out my plans. But then I also love that I can, on my app, I can kind of listen to it whenever I want. So,
Oh, yeah, that's
yeah.
so yeah, the on-demand show, yeah.
Yeah. Well, Palmyra Delran, I am thrilled that we were able to talk, and I'm very, very happy about you being on the show.
Oh, thank you, man. I really dig your podcast, so keep that going.
I will. Right. And I will be continuing to listen to you.
Oh, thanks, man.
All right. Well, thanks again.
Yeah, I really had a good time yakking with you, man. Thank you, Dave.
Pretty boy, problem child. You got substance and you got style. So super sensitive. I don't know how you even live. Glassy eyes stare through me, but you're the only one you see. I'm not your mirror, baby, and you'll never really look at me. Yeah, hey, feel you in my bones. Yeah, hey, you're my Brian Jones.
Thanks for tuning in to Frets with DJ Fey. If you like the show, you can subscribe for free at most podcast platforms. Hope you'll join me again next time. Stay tuned.